Yo, what's happening everybody? King GBL here, and welcome back to a brand new Go Bat League video. Today we're going to be trying out Poliwrath, which of course was buffed with the most recent community day with Counter, and this Pokemon actually performed really well in the Fossil Cup. Team I'm running today here is with Lantern in the lead, Escavalier in the safe swap, and Poliwrath as the closer in this position. I found this Pokemon very strong as a closer. It beats Ferrothorn in the 0s and 2s, and it beats all of the All Counter users in the meta, which is great. And even against Lantern, if you land a Dynamic Punch, it does an absolute ton of damage and almost gets Lantern into around 50% health. If you're up a shield and up a little bit of energy, you can win that match. Dynamic Punch is 8 counters and then 7. So if you're hit by 1 counter, you beat it in the 1 shield, which is pretty amazing. So we're going to go ahead here and hop into the battles here. The opponent swaps into Lantern. I decided to chip this with a Thunderbolt. I probably could come straight into Escav, because now at this point, the opponent, they're going to be a tricky customer here with a load of energy and Lantern. And as you guys know, you don't really want to eat a move on Escavalier. And the opponent beats the Surf here first time around. They're a tricky customer, so we're going to have to eat a Thunderbolt on this thing. I don't necessarily want to go down 2 shields. I know I can survive this move. So what I'm going to look to do here is fire off a couple of counters, just to go for a nice little overfarm, get some energy, and hopefully try and get off a move on the Poliwrath when it comes back in. If I had went for the CMP tie, this would have been a little bit better, because I don't think I can survive 2 counters. So CMPing the opponent would have been optimal in this position, because I could have maybe got a shield back off the Poly. They do counters down, and that's the importance of throwing in good timing and throwing in CMP where possible. Now my switch timer was not quite up here, so I just threw off the Surf just to chip it down, and this thing is about to get absolutely clapped. Sonic the Hedgehog is coming through, and this time around folks, Robotnik is going to take him out. Shout out to some of the older viewers watching if you know Robotnik. I think they changed the name to Eggman. Funny enough, my son and I were watching the Sonic anime for a little while yesterday. It is quite funny how it's changed, but back in comes this thing. And, you know, typically a lot of these Poliwraths are running Power Punch. We're running the Dynamic Punch. The opponent cannot afford to shield it because, of course, we do have Lantern in the back. The opponent's just between a rock and a hard place here. Or more precisely, they're between a toad and a... What is this, a dolphin? People say there's like a specific animal that this is, but anyway, we're going to take them out. We're not going to go on too much of a tangent here, and let's hop into the next battle. We get an amazing lead here with Jellicent. I get really amazing leads in the first set, and in the second set I get hard countered. So if you want to see me get hard countered and see how I can overcome some of those, definitely stay tuned for that. Guys, we're only a couple of subscribers off 2.4k. I was just looking at my analytics a few days ago, and I was noticing that about 60-70% of people who watch the channel regularly, maybe that's why you're not subscribing, because I can't pronounce regularly. But anyway, if you have been enjoying the videos, it is absolutely free to subscribe, and it helps me sort of continue this channel and make videos. So if you have been enjoying them, hit that subscribe button, and you may actually notice it'll go to 2.4k. It should be on 2.39 right now as you're watching, so just check to see if it goes to 2.4k. And if everybody here who is watching subs, I guarantee will hit 2.5k today. So let's go ahead and do that if we can. So this Jellicent here, you know, they're just they've seen the writing on the wall here, folks. We're just gonna YOLO this Thunderbolt. I was gonna farm him down, but I realized I'll just get this over and done with here. This jellyfish is going to get absolutely fried and sent back into the ocean here. And yeah, it's a good game. Lantern is the king of the ocean, and good games. So yeah, let me know what you guys are thinking about the Fossil Cup. We'll do a question of the day here. I started doing that. I think it's such a good idea. Callum does that, of course. But I am just like too lazy to do it, to be honest with you. Or like I just always forget to do it. But let me know if you're enjoying Go Battle League and Fossil Cup at the moment. Personally, I'm finding it very RPS. I'll get sets like this where you'll see that I'm just like dominating and getting insanely good leads. And in the next set, you'll see next set I get a ton of Quagsires. So that's the sort of frustration with it. With Open Great League, even though it is pretty RPS itself, you can overcome a lot more bad matchups. We can live this move, by the way. Look at us win the 0 shield on this thing. I think if you're the Shadow, you don't win the 0, so that's probably why this normal Poliwrath is better in this league, and the Shadow is better in the Open Great League. I've come up against a few Shadows, and they just ramp up so much, though. Once they get the Power Punch train going, it's so hard to deal with, but the opponent comes back in with Lantern. Our main answer to this is, of course, Escav. But I know they've got a ton of energy here, so I just want to eat a Thunderbolt on this, and we're going to look to insta-swap, and in comes a little pineapple. We're just going to slice and dice this pineapple. We're going to put him on a stick and eat him up here. I'm not going for any moves, I don't really need to, because as you can see, they're just reaching the move now. They may have reached the move a little bit sooner, but we should be able to counter this the whole way down. Ludicolo is such an annoying Pokemon. I did run into this today with my Poliwrath, which to be fair is not exactly where you would want to see this Pokemon, and it is actually quite bulky. So it's a pretty annoying bulky Razor Leafer, but this pineapple is just getting chopped up and put on a pizza and thrown in the bin because pineapple and pizza taste like absolute ass. But actually, you know what? I think that's such an overhyped conversation. It's like, it's not great, right? I don't like it personally, but like it's not that bad. If you eat pineapple and pizza, it's just pineapple and bread. You know, like, do you guys not have like apple sandwiches, like fruit sandwiches? Do you guys not eat that? Like, I don't know. I'll tell you something. I did eat banana sandwiches. I don't know where this commentary's going. We're talking about pineapples and bananas here, but we have Escavalier versus Escavalier. We're just punching them. It's just a dumping session, basically. You know, he's going to dump a drill run. I'm going to dump another one. We're just dumping on each other here, and we'll see who comes out on top of the dumping session. We all love a good dump, and the opponent is going to dump the final one. I notice that I'm getting into the red here, and I don't think I'm going to be able to live any more counters. So I'm going to let that go, and we're going to look to come in with Poly, just to punch this thing down. Good games. 5 counters just before they reach the move, which is great. Back in comes this thing, and you're going to see the power of Poliwrath in this situation. Once ahead in energy, look at this dynamic punch go. We've got for a couple of counters, boom. We're in the yellow now, and we're going to look to catch a move on the lantern. Now, the unfortunate thing here is the opponent's going to come back in with Fairthorn. Now, the one amazing thing here is we do have a shield advantage, which we gained in the middle match. That's what you need to do in the middle game. You need to try and get some sort of shield advantage, right? So, like, we're going to go for this Thunderbolt, and the opponent, I think they go for a huge overfarm here because they want to get off a move on Poly. But if we can get this into counter down range, I think this is good. They do throw the move instantly, which I feel like this is kind of awkward. Can we counter this down from here? The opponent goes for an undercharge. Not too sure about that one. I feel like they should have got rid of us and maybe look to go for like a last second power whip. You know, add up some damage on the Poliwrath with all of the super effective moves. Like, I think that would have been a little bit better, because they can still come in with Lantern, and I would have had to shield the power whip anyway, and that would have left them in a more prime position. I think I was going to get the counter down no matter what here, and as you're about to see here, we're getting off the second dynamic punch on the Lantern. We're throwing this fish back in the ocean. You know, Politoad is the king of the swamp, and swamps are greater than oceans. This commentary makes no sense whatsoever. Drop a like for the amazing commentary here. We win. Good games, well played. And yeah, let's hop on into the next one. Yep, we get a nice little 5-0, and we get a Fairthorn lead that game, so that's one bad lead in a row. We get several bad leads in a row here, so this is Quagsire lead. Amazing lead. I swear I like don't really see that many Quagsire leads because there's so many Pelipper's and Fairthorn leads. Like, Quagsire is just not that great of a lead. I wasn't sure if this was going to be the Stone Edge or not, but I do respect it nonetheless, and I'm going to look to not CMP the opponent. Okay, I was going to CMP them, but I guess I did not. I know this is just a Mud Bomb that didn't farm up to the thing this time, and because the opponent's staying in here, I realised that they might be weak to this thing in the back. They probably maybe have like a counter or like a steel type in the back or something like that. So I'm going to stay in here for a minute, look to fire off multiple moves, and I'm thinking, like, if you're weak to counter, you might be weak to my Poly. They're going to get the farm down, or so I thought. The opponent here, you know, they're just desperate for this dump here, and they're going to fire it off here, boom. Yeah, it looks like 1-2, doesn't it? And we're going to come in with Poly. Poly's going to look to hopefully counter this down. They do have a decent amount of energy, so I'm hoping they only get off one Mud Bomb. Mud Bombs don't really do that much damage from full health from a non-shadow, but of course they'll add up and it'll get us into like 50%. They come in with Lucario, so I'm thinking, bro, are you okay? Like, are you okay? Do you need to talk to somebody here? Like, what's going on here with this Lucario? Arguably, I could have given him with Lantern, but what I did not want to happen was for them to, like, mudshot the Lantern down after me taking out Lucario. I probably could have came into it. I wanted to get ahead in energy, and we'll see what the opponent decides to do. Because, as you're about to see here, the opponent actually comes back in with Quagsire. I could not believe it. So I'm thinking you must be so weak to this in the back. It is Registeel. So this is going to be a good game. We got a pretty bad lead, but our swap was able to sort of get us an advantage, right? And we're able to take this game. Poor Reggie, he just got absolutely clapped by that dynamic punch, and we're going to hop into the next one. So next game here, we get another Quagsire lead. Guys, I want somebody to work out the mathematical chance of having this 2 times in a row. But we're going to see here, because I get this several times this set. We're going to come into SCAV, and this one plays out a little bit differently than before, and the opponent is just an absolute degenerate here, you're going to find out. They're running actually Acid Spray on this thing. I do shield up the Acid Spray, which is so unfortunate here, and that means they can actually counter me down from here, and, you know, of course, I'll take shield advantage, which is good, but they're going to get off just a ton of energy. So I'm thinking, like, what do I come back in with? Like, of course, Poly can get the counter down, but Lantern doesn't really like drill runs either. So I thought they would think that I'm coming in with Lantern, so I come in with Poly to basically shield up the drill run. I know this sounds like interesting, but like I did not want to get Acid Spray baited here, and I thought because it's Lantern they would come in with that. They come in with Fairthorn, and you're about to see the absolute power of this thing. I'm seeing this as my win condition at this moment, and this is going to almost one-shot them. We're going to swap into Lantern and eat the move, because of course this is pretty dead against the Quagsire. So we're going to look to eat this energy, and hopefully try to get off a Surf, and just try to get the Quagsire low. If we can get it low, it'll be perfect, and I'm sort of a little bit afraid though. They can look to go for a huge overfarm. Surfs are not too threatening, and they can look to build up a ton of energy, but the opponent CMPs us and insta-froze the move. I was definitely not really expecting them to do that, and we'll have to come back in with Poliwrath and hope to take it out. They have a low health Escavalier, and they've got this thing. Now, I'm expecting the opponent to go for a catch here, so we're going to eat this Mud Bomb, of course. All shields are down at this stage. Mud Bomb coming free, boom. One more would take us out. Now, this is where I sort of need to look this out. I waited a turn to see the mud shot come through. I did not see it come through, and I just waited, and they tried to go for the catch. So that was a really good patience by me. If this was a shadow, I would have taken this out. They're one counter away from KO here. I wonder if double ice punch would have taken it out. I think even if double ice punch took it out, I was not going to be able to get them both off, because you have to, of course, give away a turn, which will give them an extra mud shot. So they would have had an extra mud shot, and I wouldn't have got both off anyway. In comes Jellicent here, and at this point, we're going to, because they let us get so far ahead in energy here, I'm going to shield up this, or no, I'm actually going to let it go because they only farmed up to the surf. That's definitely a big mistake by the opponent there. You do have to threaten the big move. We get off the drill run here, which will get it close to like 50%, right? It's under 50% at this point. I'm going to look to CMP on the drill run. I knew that they would try and get rid of me as soon as possible, because they just threw the surf straight away. I'm happy enough to let the first surf go, knowing I can live it. And at this point, you know, this is such an RPS cop that anytime I can take switch advantage, I will take it if I can. We're going to counter the swing the whole way down, and goodbye jellyfish. So we've taken switch, but we are down a shield. And again, you know, the opponent in this situation, they're taking an advantage. We do get off the drill run, which hopefully could be pretty huge for us here. Now, the only issue is here, they're getting ahead in energy with this thing, and we do have a Poliwrath and a Lantern, right? So, like, this is still not easy. I can live one of these moves just about, but it's not comfortable enough. They go for the Thunder. The opponent is going for the incorrect move. We come into Lantern here. So with Ferrothorn, Power Whip is the more efficient move. Thunder does not do any extra damage and it costs more. So, like, you always go for Power Whip in super effective or neutral situations. If the Power Whip is resisted, you go for Thunder, or for example, Ferrothorn versus Ferrothorn, you go for Thunder. But in that situation, you just go Power Whip. There's no benefit to going Thunder. You'll actually see them land a Thunder on me later on, and you'll see that I still live the Thunder, which, you know, just sort of proves that it is just the same. We're going to go for this move. Boom. This should look to take them out. I thought they might have shielded it, but back in comes Ferrothorn. Can I get to the dynamic punch in time? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we do get to this ice punch. Sorry, they still have a shield. I don't know why I'm overhyping this. Boom. This comes through. Can we get to another ice punch in time? And will this still take us out? Yeah, the opponent's going to YOLO Thunder here. Boom. It just about doesn't take us out. Can we get to the move? No, unfortunately not. So the opponent's misplay almost cost them the game, but good games nonetheless, I suppose. I guess I could have tried to farm down the Lantern or something, like let them take me out and farm it down, but I just didn't think I was going to be able to make it. And we go for a CMP tie on this one. Lantern versus Lantern. So we've had pretty bad leads there, 3 games in a row, and we've got now just a mirror lead. So we're not getting like a ton of luck. We of course don't want to use our Lantern in this situation. We want to try and use it against like Pelipper's or any tricky Pokemon for our back Pokemon, right? Like Jellicent or anything like that. So this is kind of awkward here. I don't want to go down 2 shields, and the opponent wins the second CMP. I feel like the chances of that are so low. I'm on 1492 CP, they're on 1499 CP. So for those of you IV enthusiasts out there, if you know, is it common for Lanterns to have like really similar attack? And are attacks not measured by decimal points as well? Or is it just rounded up to the nearest whole number? I'm not really too sure on that side of things, but I just felt like that was quite unlucky. Thunderbolt coming through, so at this point we decided to go. We're going to look to try and counter it down. The opponent insta-swaps into Lucario. What I decided to do here is, because they're swapping into Lucario, I want to assume that they're just very weak to Poliwrath in the back, and I'm going to outpace to the move. I don't want to let them get off a Shadow Ball or anything like that. But in comes Escavalier. We're coming with our own Poliwrath. We're still up a shield here, and this is basically curtains for the opponent. We had a really bad lead, but it looks like we're overcoming this. It is Lantern, double counter, but our double counter is better. The opponent's throwing resisted Mega Horns. Guys, to be honest with you, my elo has just been crashed so hard recently with these cops. The opponent top left, good game. My elo's been crashed so much that the opponents are throwing resisted moves on me. It's just a pretty unfortunate situation. You can see I'm 2573. I'm no longer, you know, pushing for expert. Like, I'm just trying to get out of the trenches here. And to be honest with you, today, I was trying Ultra League again. Trying a lot of different teams. I can never go positive in Ultra League, or if I do go positive, it's like 3-2. I go 3-2, 2-3 quite a lot. I feel like Ultra League, for some reason, just feels super RPS. And what I do in this situation is go for the Mega Horn on CMP, because they know they can live a drill run. Boom, we let that go, right? So in the last situation, like, they were acting weak to this in the back, so that's why I went for double drill run. But in that situation there, we just basically went for the Mega Horn CMP. Okay, so they come in with their own Escav, and boom, drill run comes through. We don't really want to eat it on this thing, and we're going to look to Ice Punch it. I'm thinking the opponent is super weak to Poly, so I'm thinking I might get a shield or might be able to counter it down before they get off another move. I go for a catch on Lantern, because once again, they're showing me that they're weak to this thing in the back by shielding that and drill run coming through. So we're happy enough to eat that, and it is Ferrothorn. Again, This team is a little bit awkward with Fairthorn if you let your SCAV go down, because it is really your main answer to it. Poliwrath can deal with it, but like I said, you know, in these late game shielding scenarios, it can be very, very awkward. And yeah, this is going to be a very close match. Powerball coming through. The opponent did go for an overfarm as well. This is maybe where pop would be a little bit better, because I could ramp up my attack, maybe like CMP on the pop. They probably would shield the pop at this range, because it does like a nice little chip into them. And like you're seeing, like we're getting off a lot of counters here, and they're only one counter away from knockout. So in this situation, once again, the shadow, or just even the normal with pop would be a lot better. So you're seeing, you know, we just got hard counter. That's set left, right, and center, unfortunately. We went 2-5, and 7 out of 10 overall with this team. I hope you enjoyed the video. I don't know what to do for this next while, because recently, like, this game has been super frustrating with the Fossil Cup. The Ultra League is just like, I like it, it's enjoyable to play, but sometimes when you get hard countered and the games are taking forever, it's taking like half an hour to get one set done, and you're not really doing that well, it's pretty frustrating to play and kind of boring. So let me know what you guys are thinking about it. I definitely want to get more into making more entertaining content again. Not to say that my content is not entertaining, because of course, like, we talk about banana sandwiches on this channel, of course it's the most entertaining content out here, but all joking aside, like, I look at all our creators like Callum on Toast, Jimmy Finn, Nerds Rising. For example, Callum on Toast uploaded Rock Smash Azumarill, I think it was a Homeless Henry showcase. Nerds Rising recently done Kingler in the Ultra League, and Jimmy Finn done a level 50 Quagsire in the Ultra League. Lots of really fun and interesting content. I want to get back into more. Whenever I first started this channel, I was doing more anti-meta stuff, so I want to get back into more anti-meta stuff and not really worry about gaining elo as much. Whenever I first started this channel, my first couple of videos were things like Galarian Zapdos, Frostlass, Mantine, Diggersby, like all of these interesting anti-meta Pokemon that are a little bit outside of the main core that you would see in the Great League. Of course, the main core being Noctowl, Lantern, Medicham, and a few other surrounding Pokemon like Registeel and now Carbink. I've been using Carbink way too much this season. Like, I've noticed that my focus has definitely been more on gaining elo, and less about using different Pokemon and showcasing different anti-meta picks and different core breakers. Pretty much this season it's been my goal to improve a lot and try to hit Legend earlier than last season. Last season I hit Legend during the Catch Cup, using albeit a very overpowered team with Diggersby and Medicham. However, that was my first time hitting Legend, and I actually hit Expert and Legend within a week. I got up above Expert in the Element Cup and up to close to 2900 I believe, and then we finished it out in the Catch Cup. And of course we had a few days to spare, and I started running spicy stuff. So as soon as I do hit Legend this season, I will be running a lot of spicy stuff. I'm not going to grind for like high elo. Once I get that over and done with, I'm just going to start playing more entertaining and interesting teams. And then starting from next season, I'm going to put absolutely zero interest or care into gaining elo. What I may look to do is try and hit Legend in the last couple of weeks, or if I just naturally hit Legend using stupid teams, so be it. But I don't really want to make it a huge focus of mine for the entire season. I definitely want to get back to using more interesting teams, not being afraid to switch up teams because this team could potentially lose elo for me. That's definitely a very bad mindset I've gone into, and if you've noticed that I've not really been uploading as many interesting teams, or sometimes I won't even upload a video if I go like slightly negative or only just about positive with it, because I'm so like obsessed with elo. So I just need to change that kind of mentality and thinking, and I think that'll actually benefit me overall, because if you're sort of too focused on losing, it's impossible to win sometimes. So that is something you're going to notice here in the next while. Once I hit Legend this season and just kind of achieve the goal I want to achieve, we're going to make a big sort of switch here and start getting out. You know, I was uploading multiple videos per day using different teams before. I want to get back to that, and I'm just praying and hoping that the cups are better next season, man. Like, the cups were absolute dog-ass water this season. We had Retro Cup, which was very RPS, which I thought would be amazing, but it wasn't. Great League Remix was pretty good. Single type cup was so horrible, and this cup is horrible, and we've had both of these for 2 weeks. We've had the Element Cup, and now we have Little Jungle Cup. We have Little Jungle Cup next week. We have that week of Open Great League, Open Ultra League, and Open Master, which is going to be over the World Championships, and I believe there's going to be like extra sets per day or something. There'll be some sort of bonus, so I'll try to maybe do some stuff there. I also want to get back into streaming. We done some sub battles with Jimmy Finn last season. I definitely want to do that again. I might see if Jamie wants to do it again, but if anybody else here who just so happens to be watching to the end is a creator, just drop me a message on Twitter or something, or X. Drop me a message on X if you want to do some sub battles. It's really fun. And of course, I want to do some streaming as well, or I'll just hop on, stream my sets, hang out with the chat, have a good time, and then maybe do some viewer tournaments afterwards, where we'll do like a solo tournament, and whoever wins like a community day ticket or an event pass or whatever the case may be. So definitely want to do some more interesting stuff, and again, I want to say a big thank you for all the support on the channel. It is very, very much appreciated. I'm definitely going to look to switch things up a little bit and try to keep pushing forward. Also, we have an amazing Discord community. If you're interested in, of course, getting better at the game, checking out our Discord streams and just hanging out with us in Discord, it's definitely a very good time in there, and I highly recommend checking it out. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Hit that like button, subscribe. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you all next time.